Well, welcome to iTags Track and Trace. This software has been developed for the grape industry over the last 5 years with a lot of input from different growers, and it's designed to track the picking of grapes right through to dispatch and to provide traceability for that. Now, this is version 2 of the software, which was released recently, and I just want to show you through a few of the features with some sample data here. When you begin the software, you come up to a home screen and a summary, which you'll see, which we're looking at now. It will show you the totals that were picked for recent days, what has been received into storage, what's currently held in storage, and then recent pallets dispatched out to customers. You can change those views based on a date range. And this version of the software also supports multiple growers. So if you are tracking from more than one farm, then you can select here and choose the particular farm, and that is right throughout the software. Well, to begin the software, first thing you need to do is create your lists, and there's a number of lists that we need to set up. Firstly, your growers, if you have more than one grower, your locations, and you'll see which are different growing locations. To edit or change one of those, I just click on it and bring it up here, and you can see that I can change the information or save it. I can search as well and just see the ones that I want. We have the same for contractors, pickers, and the pickers can be assigned to a contractor and a grower. Your different grape varieties, the customers that you send product to, the storage or cool room locations. We have reject reasons for items that were rejected, the different types of containers and the pallet quantities for those, and then if you want to track pallet types and lid types for export pallets, for example, you can keep those in your list as well. Once we have those lists, the next step is to print off labels that will be put on the picking containers, and to do that we go to labels here, select our grower. We can have different layouts of labels. In this case I'm printing labels for a picker, so I select the picker that I'm going to do. So John, I want to print 20 labels for him, and then select my next picker. I'll print 20 labels for Lai as well. That puts them into the queue, and then when I want to print them, I just hit print labels and it goes off to print the labels. Now it can print to either a laser printer or a dedicated thermal printer as well. So I'll just print those labels off. It comes back to there. Once the other types of labels you'll need to print is pallet labels when you receive items onto a pallet. And in this case it automatically generates a pallet number, again selecting our layouts. Here we also can put a date expected. If the pallet is at another farm and it's going to be shipped to you, then we can do a report looking at what pallets are supposed to come in. Container type here, I'll choose bag crate. As you'll see, 78 of those fit onto a pallet. I select Thompson seedless as my variety. I can select the pallet and lid type if I want to. I'll just have those as not specified at the moment, and that's just for reporting purposes. And now I put the number in that I want to receive. So it's defaulted to 78, but if I put, for example, 160 and I go add to pallet, it tells me that that's going to be more than one pallet. In fact, it's going to be 2 pallets of 78 and the other 4 go on a next pallet. I say yes to that, and if I now putting some Menindee seedless on there as well, and I put another 80, if I add that to pallet, it's going to add those and clock on the pallet. So as you can see, it works out how many should go on each pallet, and if I want to close off a pallet, I just do new pallet there. So now then I'll go and print those pallet labels, and print those off, and then we're ready to track. Once I've finished doing that, I can clear out those labels from the queue. If I need to reprint an existing pallet label, maybe because I'm splitting a pallet or the pallet label gets damaged, I can select here from an existing pallet if I know the pallet number. Each pallet has its own number. In this case, I'm going to split it, so I'm going to take 30 from there, and it's going to tell me and print off a separate label for the remainder there, so I'll print that off as well. And now that I've printed my labels, the next thing is to go to tracking, and we're going to scan and enter those labels. So we'll just... Okay, so once you've printed your labels, the next step is to track the barcodes through the process on the containers. So these labels have been put on the containers when the pickers pick each from the blocks and they come into the picking shed. The next step is to record this. Now this can be done directly into the software using a Bluetooth barcode scanner like the one you see here in the window, and using that I can do this area called direct scanning. I, for example, am going to record what was picked from a particular location. So I'll select my variety and the type of container, and then I just scan the barcodes for and so as you can see, the barcodes come up, and if I scan a barcode twice, it will reject the second time. Each barcode's unique. So once I've scanned all of the items, all of the different containers that have come in, I then can process that into the system, and that will do that. Then the next step would be to receive. I can receive a pallet of containers into a cool room storage location. In this case, I'm going to scan a pallet, and I can receive that in, process that one, and then I can track that later on. So that works straight into the iTags software, but that's not always convenient because you're not always close to your PC. So this software also includes a mobile scanning solution with a portable barcode terminal, which we support a couple of different types. The main type we use now is the Denso BHT series of barcode scanners. They're very rugged and very reliable, and this is one of those, if you see that. And we have a written software specially to run on this Denso BHT. So to give you an idea of how that works, I shall power that up. You'll see the software there. And so if I want to go in there, I'll collect data. I go picking. Now my list already is lists of items are already, and various lists are loaded into the barcode terminal already, and they get updated from time to time. I'm selecting the block on the location, just like I did on the PC. I'm selecting the variety from my list, and I'm selecting also the container type, and then I scan telling me ones if I've scanned them already. As you can see my list of items there, and I can check totals at any time, pressing the green button, which will tell me the totals by each location or variety. Checking, and then once I've done that, I can transfer that data back up to the PC. So I'm going to do that now. I'll put it in the cradle, send to PC, get from barcode scanner, send that back. Okay, so I now have a scanner file to process, and when I process that in, it's read it in. It tells me that there's some issues in this case with my barcodes, In this case I've scanned some records that were already processed because I'd scanned them off the sheet before. Once you've brought that data into the system, you can then look at picked barcodes. So in this case, this will show us what's been picked, the different barcode numbers. I can look at pallets that are supposed to be coming in, pallets that were received, also items dispatched, sent out to customers, and then if you have any rejects, we don't in this case. Again, all of those can be sorted and looked at by grower or by the different variety. I can search on this, so if I go Menindi seedless there, you see I can drill down into that, and from all of these I can print reports as well or export it to Excel, so quite handy with that. So this allows you to go and track it through the process. If I go back to my summary, it will show me all the updated items as well there. And in addition to that, there's quite a lot of different reports that allow me to look at daily received summaries and daily picking summaries as well. I can look at picking by contractor, and all of these reports can be printed to screen or printed to PDF, and as you can see from that, so quite a lot of different options with. Now, a final feature that's also been recently added is the spray diary, and the spray diary is just a way of recording spray activity, and it's a basic spray diary, but should come in handy. You can list the different chemicals and label and application rates. As you can see here, withholding periods, they can all be added in, the types of problems targeted, and your spray reasons. So when you want to enter in something into the spray diary, you add a record here. I put my spray date in. I'm just putting test in here. I select the locations that I'm going to be spraying, so I can select multiple locations, and within that can be multiple varieties as well, and then any problems that are targeted. So that's my starting off for the spray diary, and then I add the chemicals that I am using, and as you see, it comes up with the reason applied and everything automatically. I put in the tank volume, and it automatically calculates how much that I should have added to the tank, and then how many hectares I sprayed as well, and it actually tells me, in this case I'll put in 6, it's 3,000 done, and if I want any comments against that. So I can now add in another record there, and I save that. And so now when I go back to my spray diary summary, it tells me the spray locations, what was done on that date. It's like a summary, and when I click into that, it will show me the individual records as well, which I can adjust or print out. And then when I go to my reports, I can actually do spray diary reports, looking at a spray diary by date, by location, or summary. So if I do date here, and I can again select a whole bunch of filters, but if I bring that up, you'll see that I have my spray diary records there as well. So that's the basic features of the iTags track and trace software. I recommend that if you have further interest, get in touch with Innovative Tags and arrange a demonstration, and to find out more about how this system can help you with your growing operations. Thank you.